it's got to be pretty stressful to feed the beast, I guess, each week. Come
Uh-huh.
up with the idea, produce it, even though you have a DP and an editor to, to write this, shoot it, edit it.
Yep.
Do you get tired of it?
Oh yeah.
Do you ever like wake up and say, I just don't effing feel like doing this?
Yeah. No, it's exhausting. I mean, because here's the thing, and I did an interview with a with an article, and someone like wrote in the comments like, "Oh, boo-hoo, this girl like does like a couple TV guest stars and then like has to put out one YouTube video a week. She needs to like stop bitching or something." I don't know what the comment was, and it was so funny because I'm like, have you ever made a video like, especially with some of my like higher production value stuff, it's a lot of work. Like you've got lighting and you've got sound you have to worry about, and you have, and those are the most annoying pieces. I'd rather do a music video any day of the week
Yeah, well,
than.
it's also easy for a journalist who's getting a paycheck week in and week out to be critical of somebody
Oh, I think it was just a viewer. It was
who's
like
got to go through the hunt.
it was a
Well,
reader. It was a reader. It was not even a journalist. It was like a reader of the article left a comment under the article saying that. But I think people think it is really easy, and for some people, like Chester, it is. But a lot of times, Chester will come up with like, he's really good at coming up with stuff that's really simple. So sometimes he does do bigger videos, but for the most part, he keeps it really, really simple. And I always make things overly complicated. I can't help it. It's where my brain goes. But I like doing that, so that's okay. But it's sort of thankless work. Like you really, for me, I really only do it because I'm addicted to this fan base, like that is much smaller than a lot of my YouTube friends at this point in time.
what,
But it's
what,
growing. But it's
let's
growing, and they make me so happy. I'm not making money on my channel. I have lost money on my channel since I have launched my channel. I have spent more money on production than I have made. And I even thought about like making a video, like actually breaking down the numbers. But then I was like, nah. But I want people to know, like, you do have to get to a certain point before you can actually make money. And for me, like, I'm not at that point yet.
You keep putting out videos week in and week out that you're not earning money on. At some point, doesn't it just, you say enough?
Yeah, you're not earning money on them, and then sometimes you put out a video and it's not well received, or you get backlash from it, and you're like,
You read the comments?
yeah, you're like, this sucks. Like, I'm not making any money, and I'm putting something out, and people are just being mean. But it's all the other people that make it worth it, and it's also more than that. It's a bigger vision for what you want this to be. And I know what I want this to be, and I know that it's heading in the right direction. And even if YouTube collapses tomorrow and I lose all of those fans and I lose everything I've built, I wouldn't regret a second of it because it completely changed the way that I feel about my career and the way I feel about the entertainment industry in general and what I get excited about. And I think, yeah, I wouldn't regret it for a second. But
Well,
am I making money? No.
let's talk about what you did, because you don't have the subscriber base of some, but you started in September. So
Yeah,
like everybody else, you started with nobody, right?
yeah.
As
I had
subscribers. So
10,000.
your subscribers.
I think I had 10,000 people that were
Okay.
like old, subscribers from old videos.
Yeah, because I'm going to look. There was a tube filter article back in, I guess, January when you did the YouTube creator space that kind of suggested that your publicity outweighed your subscriber base. But
I know. I
you
remember that article.
did that hurt to see that?
No, I just thought it was hilarious because it's like that because 3 years ago no one gave a shit about YouTube and no one cared about how many subscribers you had as a press outlet. They cared if you were working with reputable places like Yahoo or MSN or MySpace. Are you being paid? And I was like I said, like I had worked with all these outlets. I was being paid by all these other websites. Break.com I worked with. Like I was making content for places other than YouTube. And at that time, like that was what you were supposed to do if you wanted to make real money. But it wasn't the right way, and YouTube became the right way. And I think, like again, like I've been the biggest champion of that. But it was funny to read that because it was like, oh, Taryn gets way more publicity even though her subscriber base doesn't. It made me laugh because I was like, well, thank God I took this leap of faith into YouTube this year to do it, because that's really where we're at now, is these new journalists are coming in and they're only looking at YouTube subscribers. They don't care that I've done all this other work in the past that's like existed online.
Let's look at what you did, and I'll talk about it so you don't have to brag about yourself.
Oh, no, no, no.
You went from 0 subscribers to 100,000 by the time they wrote their article in January. So 100,000 people signed up to watch your videos in a period of 3 to 4 months. Then you did the Creator Studio for 3 months, and you added another 50,000. You're up to 150,000 subscribers by April 1. And 6 months later, you're at 200,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So you've doubled in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to accomplish that? I mean, you've been everywhere. Hosting, tweeting.
Yeah. And it's really hard. I mean, one, I have to be able to pay for it, right? So like I've done like other web projects for some of the premium channels. Official Comedy, I worked with on a series last fall that was sort of like a behind the scenes mockumentary of the making of my music videos. That was really fun. I loved working with them. I'm working with them again on a new show this summer. I worked with Alloy for a period of time doing some videos for them and doing some blogging and magazine stuff. Work with like Sony PlayStation and various brands. I still do a lot of hosting for Red Carpets. Did some guest stars last fall, like all of that just to like fund my YouTube business. But no, for growing the channel, it's all about collaborating, all about like creating, well, I think it was a mixture of like creating some good content up at the beginning, like really launching the channel with some like sort of bigger content that could be there that showed people what my channel was about. But then more than that, it was about collaboration and just letting the YouTube community and my friends that I've known for years, like, let them know, like, I'm in this now, guys. Like, call me. Like, let me know when you want me to collab. Like, let me know when you have videos that you want me to be a part of. Like, I'm back. Or I guess not back because I never was in it. But just being really, really open to sort of helping people on whatever projects they had and figuring out what I could do in return, being strategic about the types of videos that I put out so that I could get some traffic from other people, offering to help them on their productions in order to get that kind of traffic.
We've talked about your YouTube channel and that it's not the way you make your living.
Yeah.
That it's a break even. Is that a sustainable business model? I mean, I'm not sure anybody knows because it's so new, but
we're trying to figure it out. You know, I think we're all trying to figure it out. It's not right now, man. Like, I don't know how. There's like, you know, I think there's like also this like misconception that the top YouTubers are like making bank money. And yeah, some of them are making really good money, but they're like the top. I mean, looking at like the top percentage of anything. If you look at the top percentage of any industry,
it's 1%.
Like,
yeah.
It's like the top 1% of any industry. They're making way more than the top 1% of YouTubers. There is like a ceiling right now that exists that like needs to be broken through so that we can actually have a middle class. Because we don't really have a middle class right now, and like it makes it harder for people to get in and want to do it. And I think that's why we have to do things like merchandising and, you know, looking at other platforms to make money. For me, like these other jobs, it's not about like, the other jobs are just like any other acting job, right? It's like I'm getting hired, I'm going to show up, I'm going to like leave, and that's my work, and that's like how I get paid. And now it's getting tricky because now people want to utilize your audience and they want to weave that into the deal. And I get that, but it gets trickier because then all of a sudden now you're promoting all this other stuff that normally if you were just a normal actor that had no YouTube audience, you wouldn't be expected to promote it. But now because you have an audience, you're expected to promote it. And if that expectation isn't spelled out at the beginning of work, it can get complicated.
Yeah, so they're not just buying you, they're buying they think they're buying your audience along with it.
Yep.
What needs to be changed to create a middle class?
Ad sales need to get better. YouTube CPMs need to get better. They're lower than any other video site, like major video site for ads. I think that they should lessen their split that they take. I think they take a 40% cut of the ads, which is a big chunk.
Yeah, that's right off the top. That's not profit.
Right
that's 40% of revenue.
Network If you're in a network, then you have more that comes off the top of that.
Yeah, and I don't know of another business that a partner or somebody takes 40% of the revenue, not 40% of the profit.
And they're just a platform, you know, they're not really doing much else. So that's a big percentage. I think, I think we need to figure out a more standardized way of working with brands, like brand integration deals. Brands just need to get more comfortable with YouTube in general. And then I think also like fans, you know, if there's a mechanism for fans to help support their artists, like patronage or patronage. Why did I say patronage? Patronage, or you know, through like attending concerts and meetups and things like that. If they really love the YouTuber, like they realizing that they're getting that content for free. It's hard because people watch TV and TV is free if you haven't paid for your cable TV subscription. Like basic TV is free and network. So we're sort of like behaving like networks. We're like self-sustaining, but like most cable channels, like they're being funded by their cable packages and their ads, and we don't get that. So I think, I don't know, people are experimenting with different models right now of how to make money and how to help get your fans to fund your content in creative ways without making them feel like they're, you know, writing a check to you that's unwarranted. But at the same time, like, yeah, how do you keep it up? I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this like for another 2 years, like making the money that I'm making, or losing the money that I'm losing rather.